And I want to continue the conversation with Dr. Ibrahim Kholilul, Rohman, who joins us from Jakarta. He's a lecturer at the School of Strategic and Global Studies at the University of Indonesia. Dr. Ibrahim, thank you for joining us on the show. We just heard our reporters there from Indonesia as well, from Thailand, and Japan as well, talking about the potential impact of the tariffs in the Asian continent. I would like to ask you, how do you think the levies will impact the continent's developing economies?
Right. So if we try to understand Trump's decision, it might be coming from worry and anxiety that for a long time, United States have been the largest trade deficit with more than $1 trillion by 2024. And it is coming actually from many countries such as China, Mexico, Canada, and Germany. And with China itself, China has been the major trading partner since 2009 and consistently becoming highest trade deficit partner for U.S. trade account. Interestingly, and it is also ironically, if we look into the data, when we are breaking down the administration, the average annual U.S. trade deficit with China was about $352 billion, the largest during Trump presidency. So Trump policy is intending to protect their market, but based on the data, the outcome is just conversely that the trade deficit is becoming wider during his administration. Now the impact on ASEAN countries has been quite different country by country. So if we see the Trump the first administration, by charging China more levies, it has been shifting the supply chain towards countries like Vietnam, India, and Malaysia. But Indonesia might not be among the countries who got benefit highly from the trade war, as we see that Indonesia's export to China shifting. Indonesia's export to United States has been shifting towards the low value added product. If we compare between Trump era and Biden era, the Biden era, Indonesia is able to export commodities such as mechanical product, electrical machinery, and equipment. Whereas during Trump era, we were only exporting clothing and some other lower value added product. So I think, as a colleague from Thailand mentioned, we have to be cautious about this, wait and see what will be the real policy being imposed to countries like us in ASEAN countries, and we can predict what will be the future direction of trade between the U.S. and ASEAN countries like Indonesia and Thailand.
Now, Dr. Ibrahim, Trump's game plan is to manufacture steel and aluminum more in the United States. Do you think this is feasible?
Yeah, I think it's quite challenging to respond on that proposal. Coming from economics by educations, it is very controversial proposal by Trump that requiring steel and aluminum production back to the U.S. Because if we refer to basic international economics, the Hexagon model, for instance, that countries will tend to export things which is produced by the abundance of factor of productions. So, for instance, China, Indonesia, Vietnam are very much labor abundant, so that labor cost is much cheaper. So it will be very challenging to move the production plant to China. I'm checking the salary scale from international labor organizations, and we found out that the average hourly wage in China is in the United States is about $43 per hour, which is 7 times more expensive than those of ASEAN countries, including China, Philippines, Indonesia. So moving all the production plant and production process to United States will, giving up 7 times more expensive steel and aluminum productions. And in addition to that, if we see the value chain of aluminum, for instance, or value chain of steel, for instance, the majority input is coming from iron, and 61% of iron production is coming from China and Australia, which means from logistical perspective as well, it will be much costly to transport them to the United States. So if Trump is insisting to relocate production of aluminum and steel back to the United States, I think the world will experience huge pressure on inflation, as steel and aluminum has been being used for pretty much all industrial and economic-wide production.
Indeed, a lot to think about, Dr. Ibrahim. Thank you for your perspectives and for your time.